everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan, and there's no Jake. Reason being, Jake sadly is kind of stuck at work, but we have an awesome replacement for him today. You've been hearing us talk about him for 2 weeks now. He's never shown up, but he's finally here. Come into frame. Big, medium.
I'm not Jake.
This is our good friend Tony, formerly Big Tony, now Big at Heart Tony. And for my birthday yesterday, we went through Kentucky. We did a bourbon hunt. He's never been on a really big bourbon hunt, a big scale bourbon hunt. So myself, my friend Adam, we took Tony and let him experience what we do twice a year. We're going to recap that for you right here.
Yeah, it was a interesting experience to say the least. I learned a lot.
So we started the day out at 4 in the morning. It was more or less like 3:30 for you, though. I heard you clanging and banging around.
Oh yeah, I had my alarm set for 3:15. I wanted to make sure I was ready. Pack the road snacks.
So we started at around 3. He started around 3:30. I got out of bed, rolled out, did my thing, and I was ready by about 5 till. But Adam showed up. We hit the road for Heaven Hill. We stopped about halfway through, got McDonald's, and from there we proceeded to try to hit a liquor store that said they were open, but they weren't open.
Yeah.
We stood outside of the store.
I forgot about that already.
Yeah, we tried to hit John O's in E-Town, and they were not open. They said they opened at 7, and we were just standing outside the door, Tony doing his, "Let me in! Let me in!" We saw all the bottles just sitting there, and we didn't have access to them, so we moved on. We were not happy, but we moved on. John O's, if you're going to open at 7, please. Appreciate you. Anyway, before we get to the rest of the story, I want to invite you all to go down by Tony over here. It'll be by Tony this time. And hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell to, well, become notified when we post new content. Become a watcher and help support the channel. We love you all very much. So, we get to Heaven Hill. We sit outside for 2 hours.
Yeah, about that. At least it was nice out. The weather cooperated for us, at least in the morning.
At least in the morning. They came out they came out at open. They didn't come out before open. They usually come out a few minutes before open and tell you what the drop of the day is going to be. They didn't do that.
Nope.
So we got one bottle from there. We got this Heaven Hill Select stock, which I found interesting because I've heard of Select stock. I've never had the opportunity to buy a Select stock, and originally I wasn't even going to buy it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people, because as soon as those doors opened and they said this product, I'd say half of the front of the line just
left.
around.
Just turn around and left. But this is a Select stock, a really unique finish. This is a 7-year wheated bourbon, or 6-year wheated bourbon, sorry. Finished in Good Folks Coffee Company barrels for an additional 12 months. So technically a 7-year bourbon, but 6-year wheated bourbon finished in those coffee barrels. This one, we're going to let Jake and Tony review this one because Jake's been begging me for a weird finish. Tony's still here for a few more days. We're going to get a few more episodes out of him. At least I hope we are. So we're going to let them do that. So from there, we kind of moved on into town. We went to Willett. They didn't have crap. They saw cats, though.
Yep, yeah, there was a couple friendly kitties.
Tony adores cats. I'm not really a cat person, but the cat seemed to like me, so I pet it. It's fine.
Yeah, we had to wait for the doors to open anyways. We were a few minutes early.
Yep. So had a good chance to take a pit stop, relax a little bit. I had an espresso, which I chugged the espresso because I was very tired at that point, and yeah.
A few hours of sleep will do that.
A few hours of sleep. So we moved on from Willett and we went up to Lux Row. Lux Row, I was hoping to find the 10th anniversary Blood Oath. I know I said I'd never buy it. I know I said I would never buy those again, or we aren't looking for them. But if I can find it at close to MSRP, I'm going to pick it up for you guys because, you know, we want to share our thoughts with you. But they did have, I'll open the bag here. We did get to try the Lux Row 12-year double barrel blend. Well, I think that's what it's called. Double barrel aged 12-year this. This one that they had at the distillery is absolutely amazing. I paid, I think, what, $15 for the pour?
Something like that. I think it was like 12 or 15.
$15 for the pour.
Comes with a glass.
You got to
of
keep the
course.
glass. That's kind of cool. I gave Tony the glass. He likes branded stuff. I have too much.
More merch for me.
So we got to try this. It's absolutely beautiful. These barrels were laid up in a rack house on July 26th of 2010. So you do the math, around a 14-ish year old product, unless, of course, they could have dumped it, vatted it, stopped the aging process in, 2022.
Yeah.
Thus being a 12-year. But we picked this up and we were really happy with it. So after Lux Row, that's when the stores started. And that's when we kicked into high gear. We stopped over at Keystone Liquors. They just had overpriced stuff everywhere. Nothing that we were kind of willing to shell out for. I know. I say overpriced and he saw things. It's okay. So moved into Bardstown. Did we hit the Blind Pig first, or did we go to Cox's first?
We went to Blind Pig because we ended up having to park further up the street. So we just ran across the street into Blind Pig and then went back down the Cox.
Okay, so we went to Blind Pig first. They always have some cool stuff in there. Very, very small shop if you've ever been to Blind Pig in Bardstown. Really small.
Yep.
So really cool experience. I think you've been to Blind Pig before.
Yeah, we went once before when we did the trail.
I was unsure of whether or not he had seen the Blind Pig, so we had to make that a stop. But then we went down the street to Cox's Evergreen Liquors. Whew, that place is awesome. That was the second time I've been in there. It never ceases to disappoint, or not, oh my goodness. It never ceases to impress me, not disappoint me. But it disappoints me because, dang it, every time I go in there, the dang allocation case is empty. But, the bar is always kind of plentiful.
Yeah.
So we found the Heaven Hill 18 on the bar, and I paid up to have a pour of it because, well, I didn't know if I was going to find it or didn't know if it was even possible to find it. So we had a pour. I shared the pour between us three. This dude's eye, I told him last night, I don't know if you noticed your eyes went like this when you tried it, but they did. They got big and round, and he was like, oh. So.
Yeah, that was a nice experience, especially for something of that age.
Yeah, I think you were saying like something of that age you're expecting to be like you're chewing on an oak tree almost. So he doesn't like super oaky things.
Yeah, but that was very inviting, and that's what impressed me, especially with the age statement on that.
Yeah, and then that one being such a limited product, I mean, it's good to at least be able to try.
Yeah, the experiences, man.
So he bought some stuff there. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, a couple little things.
He bought stuff. He bought just some stuff to take back to Wisconsin and share with some friends, and his dad, of course, who I think I've kind of corrupted too. Vicariously corrupted people. But from there we ran into all the other stores. We discovered that Cox's Creek was closed. We discovered Jim Beam was closed. So luckily we were able to just kind of go around those without having to stop and be disappointed. So I don't really have a very good itinerary past there. So we're just going to get to a bunch of bottles here.
Yeah, it was just one little store, pulling up Google Maps. All right, what's closest?
What's closest? Next. So from here, we're just going to throw a bunch of bottles out. First one here is going to be a trifecta, but this is the first one we found is a 10-year-old Fitzgerald. I'd been looking for this for quite some time, and I didn't realize I had one on the shelf. So I may have bought a duplicate, but I'm not mad. That just means I can drink it a little bit more freely. The next one up, let's see. Screw it, I already said the trifecta. So we'll go with this one. So I got an 8-year-old Fitzgerald, which was really cool. Then we'll kind of scoot these down a little bit. And from there, we found this. This is the 13-year VVS distilled in 1999. What were you doing in 1999? If you know what you were doing in 1999, put it down in the comment section below. I want to know.
I was in elementary school.
I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
6th grade when that liquid right there was distilled. I didn't even know there was a fire at Heaven Hill in 96. So, it is what it is. So we found that. Oh, wait, there's one more bottle. I meant to put it like down here. So we've seen
about those too.
We've seen a lot of reviews on YouTube just kind of go crazy for this bottle, and I wanted to find it, and it's not around our area, so in Kentucky I made it a point to find it. The Jim Beam Black, aged 7 years, little bump in proof, age statement on the bottle. I'm excited to see distilleries coming back to those age statements. Knob Creek put theirs back. Beam has that 7-year age statement now. Wild Turkey, at least for a limited release, is re-releasing the 8-year 101 this year. So maybe we can see more of these bottom shelf.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this, at least when we were driving. It's just a nice little added feature. It gives you a little history of it, or like an idea of what you're getting into instead of just, what is this? Like we went into Total Wine and there's a plethora of all these weird bourbons, but you don't even know what they are anymore. And this kind of helps invite you in, like, okay, I got an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I have an idea of what's going on here. I think one of those, wasn't it like first respond or first call or...
First Spirit, it's something with one of the horses on it.
It had a horse on it, and I didn't have a clue about it. He didn't have a clue about it. I think it's just a Total Wine brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one would make more sense to me as a purchase than any of those would. There's no story there. There's no details. It just kind of leaves you in the dark.
It also says it's bourbon.
It just says bourbon. So a couple of older Michter's releases we found on the way. This is the 2021. I can't read a neck tag for some reason. This is 21G, the toasted barrel finish bourbon. We're going to scoot some of this down. I've been wanting to get my hands on a toasted bourbon from Michter's for a very long time, and it's always kind of either been taken in a raffle before I got to it, even though I've never called in raffles anyway, or just left on a shelf. Someone grabs it before me. I've never gotten my hands on one, so I was excited to be able to get my hands on that one. And we have kind of a sister product here. This is the Michter's Toasted Barrel Strength Rye. This one is barrel 20H1816. Apparently the highest proof they've ever released.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. It's a bit of a special mix-up, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a little research into that.
Do a little research and maybe do a little tasting later. This is 115 proof, 57.5% ABV for your face piece. I think that's going to be a really special one to try. But then it happened. It happened, and I couldn't turn away. I couldn't say no. I found it at a, let's just put it this way, reasonable price wasn't even in the conversation. I'll be honest, I paid $700 for this, and I don't care. We do a big bourbon hunt. Me and Adam do twice a year. We hunt once in the fall, and we hunt once in the kind of middle of the year. We chose around my birthday this year because you were in town. But
gotta save up for the specials.
We found it. The Heaven Hill 18 year, and I can even open it for you. We found it. Did I overpay? Yeah. But after what we tasted at Cox's, I think that's one that I would willingly overpay for. Jake's gonna lose his absolute mind when he sees all this stuff, but he's gonna get to taste everything, just like you're gonna get to taste most of this that's on the table today. Maybe not for a video, but you know, we always try and have a pour or two at the end of the day. So yeah, that's our bourbon haul. Not to be, you know, the braggadocious idiot that I normally try not to be, but yeah, this is what we pulled out of Kentucky, brought back to the Hoosier State, and we're going to open and share with friends and family. And speaking of those friends and family, get with them, tell them about the channel, go over here again, hit that like and subscribe button, become a watcher, support the channel. And Tony, thank you for coming down. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to share an experience with them, especially when you're that passionate about it. Just to see you guys in your environment, and it was a great learning experience for me.
I told him,
to say the least.
I told him he should have brought a camera and
GoPro, gimbal mount, walk around and watch you guys.
The land hippos searching for their bourbon in their natural habitat. Oh, he's got one. Oh, yep, he bought it. Something like that. I don't know. Some like, what is it? National Geographic special.
Yep. Do a little National Geographic documentary.
So thank you again for joining us, and I want to remind you to share a pour with your friends and family, because just like the movies, do you know it? Memories don't make themselves, guys. Thanks for joining us.